Mathematics is, many people like to think of it as the science of patterns. Mathematics is important to do because it's enjoyable when it's done right. It's creative. It allows you to see things you've never seen before. It allows you to experience joy, experience wonder, experience the process of truly understanding something.
Could you explain what your thinking is?
So I counted how...
One of the questions I often ask myself is, why is it that some people experience mathematics as joyful and creative and other people don't? And some of that happens in the classroom, in the ways that we begin to think about mathematics, the ways we're taught to approach mathematics. And so if it's just calculate and get an answer, well, of course, many people are not going to find that fun or enjoyable. But if it's about digging in to an interesting question and beginning to look at it from all sorts of angles, that can be rewarding and enjoyable.
There's 4 in each column, so you can just go 4, 8, 12.
What you cultivate by sitting with a problem and learning how to sit and stare at and wrestle with a hard problem is a virtue that's going to help you the rest of your life. In any other profession, in solving some of the hard problems of your life. Often when you are presented with a challenge, a problem that you don't know how to wrap your head around, one of the first things that you might do is you might play with the problem. The idea of play in mathematics is not so much turning it into a game, although turning math into a game can be fun. It's more about tinkering, right? It's kind of like noticing something, wondering why things work the way they do, unpacking a problem, breaking it into pieces, testing it in certain ways.
When mathematicians work, we can see visually how this pattern grows.
One way I like to think about looking at a problem and noticing is kind of like what happens when you go to an art gallery. When you look at a beautiful painting, you maybe are initially captured by the overall sense you have in it, but after you start sitting with it a while, you begin to notice aspects of it you may not have seen before.
So what patterns do you notice that?
That kind of active noticing is basically looking for curious or puzzling things that demand an explanation. And that's really what mathematics is about when it's done well. It demands your attention because you've noticed a pattern that you haven't yet explained and you want to explain it. As a professional mathematician, I might say I'm a mathematician. And one of the reasons I don't like that term is that the term mathematician has a professional connotation. And so I like to say I'm a mathematical explorer. Everybody can be a mathematical explorer.
So then I was thinking, it has to all be 6 in the rows.
Everybody can learn to have a posture of noticing and wondering and beginning to demand explanations for things and understand why things work the way they do. The more that teachers can highlight the virtues of mathematical thinking, more than just the skills, the more likely it is the student will get the sense that mathematics is this living, creative, joyful activity.
How much is that?
And it's not just about calculation, it's not just about getting answers, it's about posing and asking interesting questions. It's about being able to recognize patterns. It's about working with others to see different sides of a problem. It's about being able to visualize and represent ideas in multiple ways.
I love that. That is so easy to see. That's a nice group of 5.
Instead of asking a student to calculate 5 plus 10, they'll get 15. You might ask them to represent 15 in as many different ways as possible. You might ask them to think about all the ways that they can combine 2 numbers to get a larger number.
12 times 2 equals 24.
That's what you did? Nice.
So there's this idea, I think, in teaching that we do want students to be adept with their math facts. It is valuable to not have to reach for a calculator if you need to do 5 times 7. And so there is a place in the math classroom for encouraging students to know their facts. I think one of the ways that becomes dangerous is that students equate speed with the idea that they're a math person if they can do it quickly and not a math person if they can't. I guess I want us to steer us away from thinking that that's everything. Because, in the higher level of mathematics, speed isn't actually a thing at all.